Hi again. Tonight we're going to talk about the Caribbean Beach Resort. So as lots of you guys know, there is a lot of construction going on right now. When we first got there, it was pretty late at night. There were 2 people working the desks when the whole bus unloaded. Took us 45 minutes just to get through the lineup to be able to talk to somebody, and about another 20-25 minutes of talking to somebody before we were able to even leave the area of the reception desk. And then once we did get out of reception, we had to wait again for about another 10-15 minutes for a white van to take us to our hotel room area. We were tired. We had flown 2 flights that day. We'd been up since 5:30 our time, not even Orlando time, our time. So 2 flights, 3-hour layover in one of the airports. We didn't get into our hotel room until about 11:30 that night. We were exhausted. We were tired. It was frustrating, but hey, we were in Disney. Who could really complain? So when we were at the front desk, we knew that we were getting these cups because we were on the dining plan, or however that works, I don't know. All we knew is we had cups. And we asked them, we said, where do we get these cups? And they said, concierge has them, but they close at 11. So you'll have to go and get them tomorrow. So after my first day of all-day parks, we got back to the hotel, and we knew we still had time because the parks closed. I think we were on a late night that night, so it closed at 9, and we were back at the hotel by 9:30, 10. But then we got busy, by the time you shower and eat and all that crap. We had been pushing it pretty close. We had, I think, 15 minutes to get to concierge. Well, we were over here on this side of the resort, and concierge was on this side of the resort. And so my sister and I booked it. We ran all the way across the resort. We made it to concierge at 10:59. They were closed. But they heard us trying to open the door, so they came to the room and they're like, well, what's going on? We're like, we are told by front desk to come pick these cups up. We didn't make it yesterday because we didn't arrive until after you guys were closed, so we want them now. And concierge looks at us and says, sorry, we don't have those here. You're going to have to try going to Centertown, which is the restaurant area, but we don't do that. So we're frustrated. We're dying of thirst because we just ran halfway across the resort. We didn't get our cups, and it was after 11, which is when Centertown closed. So we prayed and prayed and prayed that they'd be open long enough for us to get our cups. Concierge says to us, though, before we leave, I know that this sucks. It's not our fault, but I am so sorry. He says, front desk actually sends us a lot of things that have nothing to do with us. And I don't know, they need to get their stuff figured out there, but it wasn't that big of a deal because thankfully Centertown employees were just cleaning up and stuff, so while the doors were locked, there was somebody in the food truck there, and that's where you get the cups. And she was nice enough to take our names and stuff and give us our cups, so we did not die of thirst. We were able to get a glass of water there at Centertown, and on our way back to the rooms, we were able to fill up with some of the pop there, or soda, or whatever the frick you want to call it. Stores do not deliver to your room. Doesn't matter how many times you ask. Doesn't matter how many times you clarify. They will not send it to your room. They'll send it to concierge, which is all the way across the resort from you. I asked 2 or 3 times. I clarified and double-checked each time and was told, yeah, it'll be sent to your room. It never was. Buses suck. Simple as that. They suck. On our first day, we did Magic Kingdom, and we got there just as the bus was leaving. Our fault. We missed it. So we waited. We waited. Mom missed rope drop. She wanted to go to rope drop in the worst way because she heard about how amazing it is. We never made it on any of the days. Not even just that day. We just never made it. But anyway, so we waited 20 minutes or so. Another bus came. He pulled up. He looked at the crowd of people. Didn't even open his doors. He was so full, there was no way he could fit anybody else on. He turned around and drove away. Talk about frustrating. So that's 2 buses that we had missed. A lot of us in that little area were wanting to go to Magic Kingdom, obviously, because there's buses that come and come and come throughout the whole time to go to different parks or an internal. And so, you know, 2 buses, you tend to accumulate a lot of people. And so there was a lady on a wheelchair. She was on the phone with somebody trying to figure out what the heck was going on. There was another man that had a family, and he was fairly grumpy trying to figure out, you know, why did this bus just skip us? So we got pretty lucky, and they sent out a special bus for us. Unfortunately, didn't arrive until about the same time as the 3rd Magic Kingdom bus. But we were able to get everybody in that little area moving on. Which was... It was nice, but we were the last stop at the Caribbean Beach Resort. We were in Aruba. So first they go to Martinique, I think it's called, and then they stop at Trinidad North, then Trinidad South, then Jamaica, and then Aruba. So we were kind of screwed because we were in Aruba. So, you know, they pick up all the other stops. They get full, they leave without you. Nothing you can do. It did suck, but it was better the next couple days. The second day we went to Hollywood Studios, and we were able to get on and go. No issues at all, and it was a very quick bus ride. Magic Kingdom was about half an hour, so it sucked if you really had to go to the bathroom. Learned that the hard way. Pee before you leave. The third day we went to Epcot, and we had the same issue where it took forever for the bus to come. It just seems like forever, I think. I don't think it actually is, because it's supposed to come every 20 minutes. And they have this little TV in the waiting area that updates you on when it's supposed to come. They get your hopes up. They say, oh, that's coming at 8:20. And you're like, okay, yeah, 8:20, whatever. It's 8:01, I can handle that. And then they update it. And they're like, it'll be there. 8:09. So you get excited. You're like, yes, it's coming. 8:09. 8:09 comes, and they update it 8:10. Okay, whatever. That's only another minute. 8:10 comes, they update it to 8:12, 8:13, 8:14, 8:15, and then they update it to like 8:25, and it's like, what happened? The bus was supposed to be here 5 minutes ago, and they just keep tacking on the time. That happened quite often. That's actually kind of a pisser. Maybe they should just not update it. Just saying. Don't get my hopes up and then kill them, because you don't show up till 8:25. Anyway, yeah, buses suck, so either be there early, or the one day we took an internal bus to one of the earlier stops. I don't remember which one, I'm so bad at this, but we took it to one of the first stops, and we got off there, and we were able to get on the front of the bus, and then we hit up all the other stops, so, you know, whatever, didn't really save us time, but we got on the bus. The pool, although we never made it there, looked really cool. I'm actually really sad the weather wasn't good enough for us to enjoy the pool. And on the days that we were busy at the parks. I find it really incredibly stupid that the parks close at the exact same time the pools do. So you can't spend your day at the pool or at the park and then go and enjoy a little swim at the pool. Because the pool closes at 8 p.m. What's the point of having lights and lighting the area up just to tease me? I think it's dumb. And it's not just Caribbean Beach Resort. We visited Art of Animation, and it was the same thing there too. That it closed at 8 p.m., which, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me, because people want to go and enjoy their evening as well. Why close the pool? To me, it's just stupid. The one night, though, we did have to eat at the tent there, and when you have to go to the bathroom, they were letting us in the pool area because there's no restaurant right now. But what really confused the ever-living crap out of us was they had a man's bathroom, and then they had a family bathroom. We could not find the ladies' bathroom. And when we asked, we're like, hey, you know, just curious, how come there's no ladies' washroom? They said, don't worry about it, just use the family bathroom, it's okay. And if your kid really has to go, because that's who I was taking my 6-year-old, kid really has to go, just take him in the males. So, whatever. It didn't really matter, because, well, we got into the family bathroom, but where's the ladies' room? We do have little pools in our own separate areas, just like little squares. I was too cold to go the one night, but my sister took my daughter, and she said it was heated water, and they had fun. My daughter didn't want to get out. She loves water. But, I don't know. I really would have wanted to enjoy at least a little bit of the cool pool, the big one, on the other side of the resort. Unfortunately, it never happened because there was only one night we made it back in time to the resort before before the park even closed. We made it back at 6:30, and that was our second day there. That was the Hollywood Studios day. Hollywood Studios was a disappointment. We'll talk about that in another video. And so we made it back at 6:30, but with traveling all day the one day, getting in late, waking up early, and then a full day at Magic Kingdom, we were beat. Like, we went to bed at 6:30. We didn't eat supper. We all just crawled into bed, all four of us. And that was my mom, my sister, my daughter, and myself. And we all crashed. We didn't wake up until an alarm went off the next day to tell us to get up to go to Epcot. So, we never ever got to enjoy the pool, which was sad, but it happens. Next time, right? Next time. The food there, we did eat at the tent the one night. The food was not amazing. It wasn't horrible. I'm a very, very picky eater, and I walked away on a fairly full stomach. It was nothing to rave about, but they're cooking in a tent. Like, right, what? Gotta give them some credit. I had no issues with that. I know a lot of people that go are super upset about the whole tent thing. I don't care. Didn't faze me one bit. There was still staff walking around, clearing our plates, making sure we were okay, asking if we need anything. And what other buffet you gonna get that at? Oh, and that was another thing. It was a buffet. So it wasn't all you care to eat. And we did. I went up 2 or 3 times. But with the picky eating comes this thing where I can't have my food touching on the plate. I absolutely hate it. Don't know why. Just how I am. Thanksgiving is fun. So I went up a couple, like 3 or 4, maybe 5 times. And each time I'd get something different on a different section of my plate, make sure none of it touched. And that was nice. Because on some of them, some of the buffets you're limited. It's not an all you care to eat. You can only go up like once and fill up your plate. And for a picky eater, that's hard. So both my daughter and I, we're good. We found some stuff to eat, and it wasn't too bad. My mom didn't like it, but really, we were tired. We just wanted a quick bite to eat. It was after the park had closed. I think we were coming home from Animal Kingdom that day. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But we were tired. We're just like, you know what? Food. Let's go. Turns out a lot of people have that idea. So when you get off the bus at 8:30, don't go to Centertown because it's busy. You will be standing in line for 10 to 15 minutes. There was no store. They did have a little truck thing set up, but no store, which was kind of a disappointment. I'm a shopper. I like to shop. We went to Art of Animation, and I'm not going to tell you what my price tag was there, but it was nice just to be able to walk around the store, be able to look at stuff. However, it was a very long walk. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, we were on one side of the resort and everything else was on this side. And because we're the last stop, we had to walk all the way up to Jamaica, over this incredibly long little area, through past the pool, past Centertown, and up to Concierge, if that's where we're going. It was a fairly long walk. I think the last night I was in so much pain, I took baby steps, and I wore my pajamas, and so many people looked at me funny, but I was in a lot of pain, and it took me an hour to get from my room to Concierge and back to pick up a crop that was sent there, because they don't deliver to your room. But they did have cool things to look at. Obviously, there's 2 bridges. I said 1 bridge, but there's 2. So there's water, obviously. They had a kids' playground, which again, we never got to enjoy because it closes so stupidly early. They have a fire pit, but same thing. You can only enjoy it, when there's sun and you're supposed to be at the park. And one of the other crappy things was that you can hear the fireworks. I don't know how it is at other parks, because this was our first trip. But that night that I was mentioning earlier where we went to bed at 6:30, all of us woke up to the fireworks. I mean, we were all able to fall back to sleep because we were freaking tired as hell, but we did wake up to the fireworks. And the last night, as I was mentioning 2 seconds ago, when I walked to the Concierge, I could watch the fireworks, which was actually kind of cool. About the room, they had these awesome double doors that you could hide the bathroom area. So you didn't have to look at the bathroom area if you don't want to. They had 2 sinks, so my mom and me could brush our teeth at the same time, or my sister could do her makeup while I'm brushing my teeth or washing my hands, or who cares. That was really nice. I honestly wish more hotels had that. Not the doors, but the double sink. Their tub was actually really cool too. They had the shelf at the back of it, and then it was big enough for my fat butt up here, and it kind of thinned out. So it was like big, tiny. But it worked. It was so weird, but I absolutely loved it. I was able to put all my crap behind me. I didn't have to worry about it falling off the edges like I do at home. And then I was able to like rest up here, and it fit my feet perfect at the bottom. Because the one day I sunburnt, and I know for most people they blister, so it's a bad idea. Don't do this at home. But hot water is what gets rid of my sunburn. It makes the sting go away. So I had to soak. So I know some people don't like baths, especially at a resort or hotel, because they're gross and dirty, but I don't know. It worked for me. And I really liked it. What I didn't like was 2 mornings later when I went to shower, I turned the shower on, had the thing closed. As I was bringing my head up, they had the towel rack there. And it was sharp and it was pointy, and I banged my head and it hurt like an SOB. So be careful in that aspect so you don't crack your head open. I was lucky, mine didn't even leave a dent. I might have lost a couple brain cells, but that's nothing new. Mousekeeping, on the other hand, was horrible. There was a gray shirt in the corner by the dresser when we arrived. It was still there when we left. So if you were in room 5521 and you lost a gray shirt, it's probably still there. Just saying. 3/4 of the times we'd walk in, it didn't feel like they vacuumed at all our entire stay. We were constantly walking on crap. They didn't clean up any garbage around. Like, I understand we had a lot of crap. We were very bad and didn't clean up after ourselves very good, which is something we don't normally do. We're so exhausted. But, like, we had, like, price tags and stuff like that we would just put up on the ledge by the TV. Didn't bother touching it. And the one day, I don't even think they washed the bathtub. But I don't know. It just was not good. Mousekeeping was really, really bad. But whatever. We made it work. Honestly, I know this video is a lot of complaining, but when we visited Art of Animation, their buses, they had 4 different areas of the hotel, which were a lot smaller than ours. I get that, but they had 1 section for buses. So if you were over here in little Ariel Land, which is where I wanted to be, trust me, but if you were over here, you had to walk all the way to over here and Finding Nemo Land to get on the freaking bus. My mom and I have fibromyalgia. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but anyway, we were in so much pain this trip. So just walking from the little bus stop to our room was killer. I cannot imagine being at Art of Animation and having to walk from that 1 bus stop all the way to my Little Mermaid resort, if that's where I was staying. So, I mean, there's cons and there's pros of everything. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there's a lot of construction going on, but we didn't hear it once. It did not bother us at all our entire stay. I definitely would go back. It was a very, very quiet resort. The last 2 days or so we heard the people above us thumping, but you know, I hear that at home too, right? My kids walk upstairs, I can hear it. But it was very quiet. The kids were either not around or just really respectful, but definitely not as many kids as there were at Art of Animation. I don't know. I definitely, myself, would book at that resort again. I liked it. I know it sounds like I complained about a lot, but I enjoyed that our bus stop was so close to our room because I was in so much pain. It just made that much easier for me. And I don't know. I liked it. I did. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop some comments below and I will be happy to answer them or cause another video or who knows, but feel free to ask. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.